Riffin' 9 to 5, what a way to suffer, ain't it? Why does it feel normal for a man to talk about what a woman should do? This is the city, Los Angeles, California.
Business plays an important part. Office buildings and office workers are a familiar sight in every city and town. So is the office secretary.
An office just isn't clean until it's cleaned with Pine Sol.
Such a vital role in the world of business. This is Jean Carroll. Her day begins at 9 o'clock, and she's at her desk on time.
Having learned to take an earlier bus because public transportation is heavily underfunded.
In her first minute, Jean has displayed these attributes of a good secretary. Office supplies are the tools with which Jean works.
And are free to take home anytime.
Permits a quick check to see that she has enough supplies on hand for the day. She takes out only those things she knows she needs. With her place of business in order, she helps to organize the day for herself and her employer by referring to her invaluable calendar pad.
Okay, so Tuesday through Thursday is existential gloom, followed by a Friday of contemplating suicide, margaritas with a girl Saturday at 6 p.m.
It also lists memorandums or personal reminders for her employer. The record is placed on Mr. Williams' desk before he arrives.
Hi, bitch! Slut.
Marge Quinn, office stenographer and Jean's co-worker. Now, let's clear up this distinction between a stenographer and a secretary.
That way the media don't switch up the titles when the inevitable financial scandal comes up.
And types. She may also do billing and filing, and operate office machines such as a duplicator or calculator or transcribing machine. At times, she may also operate the switchboard.
The coffee maker is operated by whoever looks the most like Lily Tomlin.
A secretary assumes much more responsibility than a stenographer, and
Let's see,
performs
which
many
day is the one I
duties
can
that
get away
contribute
with
to the
being sick with
success of the company,
COVID?
as we shall see. The calendar pad helps Jean to keep track of her many
3
responsibilities.
p.m. sounds good. Better
and to
start coughing up a
establish a
lung.
regular schedule. At about the same time each day, the morning mail is distributed. Sorting it is one of Jean's responsibilities.
This is the only human interaction Jim ever gets.
She selects the unopened personal letters for Mr. Williams from the
Junk,
business mail, which was opened in the
penis
mailroom.
enlargement, junk.
Mr. Williams has instructed her to open all his personal mail. The care and precision with which she handles this routine
I believe you have my letter opener.
Indicative of Jean's thoroughly competent approach to her job.
Dear Marty, if my calculations are correct, you will receive this letter immediately after you saw the DeLorean struck by lightning.
This takes a little longer than simply zipping the letters open, but it minimizes the dangers of tearing the contents or accidentally throwing away a loose
Mr. Williams,
enclosure.
another bribery from the senator.
And of course, enclosures are no longer loose after they've passed through Jean's hands. In checking through the business mail, she finds a letter which refers to some previous correspondence.
Looks like
So
Mr.
she gets
Williams
out
got
the
a Dear
file on
John
this,
letter.
in
Boy,
case
the
Mr.
office
Williams
betting
might
pool is
want it
going to be
later.
buzzing.
And now the mail is in order.
Good morning, Marge.
Your wife left you with a poor boy.
Jean.
Good morning, Mr. Williams.
I want to talk to Mr. Dubois of Philadelphia. Will you call him for me at 11 o'clock?
Why not call him now? He ain't busy. He's been bitching on Twitter about
That's right.
ape pics.
And it's very important.
Jean makes a note of Mr. Williams' instructions on her calendar pad. The good secretary doesn't rely on memory.
Now that we have
Jean will make
computers,
sure that every
smartphones,
item
and the
here is
NSA
taken
listening
care of
in.
today. Two of them, the itinerary and the checks, can easily be attended to during the morning dictation period. Mr. Williams usually gives dictation at the same time each morning.
You're making it hard for me
Period
not to
is
do
an
the
important
obvious
part of
banging
Jean's
the
daily
secretary
routine.
joke movie. That's
She
too
makes
low
sure
hanging
she has all
fruit.
her materials for taking dictation, plus the itinerary, the checks, and the file folder she got out earlier. Leaving Marge to answer the phone and receive any callers, Jean responds quickly. She recognizes her responsibility to conserve her employer's time.
Any
It's
move towards your
another
tits, you're gonna
essential
feel the
part
letter
of her
opener in
job.
your hand.
For all her other duties, taking dictation and transcribing her notes is Jean's most important responsibility.
Okay, why does this have PC low letter on it, and what the fuck does that mean?
During the dictation period, Mr. Williams often takes up other questions of the day, makes suggestions, and gives impromptu instructions. The secretary, too, uses this period to clarify any matters that need attention.
Can you cite these? I
so
need them
that
to
she
sell on
need not bother
eBay.
him later. Foresight, such as bringing the file which she thought he would need. Dependability in attending to many personal and business details.
Just
such as
watch,
making
Jane.
sure
That
he
vampire's
signs
gonna
checks.
blow the child support
These
on
are
new
qualities
clothes.
which make the secretary a real asset to her employer.
There you are. Now about this itinerary for my trip to Toronto. I've decided to stop off at Cleveland on my way back.
Just to stop there and
That will
mock
be
all
on
the homeless people.
28th. Can you rearrange this to allow me a day there?
Very well. I'll check on hotel and train reservations.
And forward that to
that'll
any
do all
cocaine
for now,
dealers
Jane.
out there. They got good shit.
Oh, by the way, I saw Mr. Carl. He won't be in this afternoon. Make his appointment for 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Can't he do it himself? He's a big boy now.
Jean leaves the
Kiss my
office
ass.
without delay. Now she can revise her schedule and bring it up to date.
We revolt on the
calendar
28th when he
pad,
leaves for
she
Cleveland.
checks off the items that have been taken care of. The appointment with Mr. Carl is canceled. It becomes the first item on the next day's schedule.
Ah,
So
National Peanut Butter
organizing
Cookie
her work
Day.
is a continuing process from day to day and week to week. The checks have been signed, and the itinerary must be revised.
And the catch and cookies must be cleared
The
before visiting
itinerary
Travago
is a
again,
schedule
or it'll
of
cost
times
more
and
to
places
book.
that make up a trip. A hotel guide will supply the information Jean needs to arrange for Mr. Williams to stay overnight in Cleveland.
You're more than a number in my little black
Knowing
book.
where to look for information and how to use it is part of Jean's job.
This one's near Crackton. That'll work swell.
The secretary should be familiar with standard reference books like these.
She'll have to furnish those herself on $7.25 an hour. Who am I kidding? $6.25 an hour. We all know women get
By
paid less
mid-morning,
because
Jean
misogyny.
is well along with her transcribing. This period is another part of her varied day. But she is also receptionist.
Hi,
to
I'm here to
customers,
reap Mr.
friends,
Williams'
job
soul.
applicants,
Sorry,
and
he's booked for 2
salesmen.
weeks.
Jean knows how her employer wants her to handle these different kinds of callers. In every case, she is tactful, courteous, and poised.
And is staring
Since
at
she
my
cannot
soul
admit
through the
herself
screen!
now, she makes an appointment for him for the next morning. The secretary's manner of handling callers directly influences their attitude toward the business.
And is usually overridden when the boss has an attitude.
The unexpected caller receives as courteous treatment as does Mr. Richards, who has an appointment.
I don't think this is the doctor's
Callers, whether expected or not, usually interrupt other work. But Jean loses no time getting back to her organized routine.
And suicide letter ain't gonna write itself.
Call Peter Dubois. Yes, proper use of the telephone is another must for a good secretary.
Long distance, please.
Line.
I want Philadelphia, Quaker 1-200, Mr. Peter Dubois. The last name is spelled D-U-B-O-I-S. Mr. Arthur J. Williams at Center 9000 is calling.
Not
Can't you
only
believe
does
he
the
fell for
secretary
that running
maintain a
fridge
pleasant
joke?
relationship
Why do we
with
do
her
business with
employer
such a
and his
moron?
business associates, but she must be able to get along with her co-workers and occasionally give instructions to subordinates and supervise their work. Jean is able to tell others what to do because she knows
This one's for
from
blackmail and
experience
this one's
what
for
is required.
drugs.
Having been a general office worker before she became a secretary, she's familiar with other phases of office work, and she's always willing to help a fellow worker. Consideration for others is an important factor.
Now
in
forward this to
good
the district
office
attorney.
manners.
Don't say who you are.
Jean has carried through her daily routine very thoroughly and has kept up with her schedule. As a result, even a late interruption, like an unexpected call for dictation, can be handled smoothly. In this office, there's no frantic last-minute rush to wind up the day's work. Jean is still at top efficiency. Even under pressure of getting out a last-minute letter, she is calm and courteous.
For it'll make the difference between ramen for dinner or air.
Goodwill and understanding are part of her personality, part of her job.
Cancel the office revolution. He knows about it.
And signed, she winds up her day in a neat,
Bye,
orderly
Skank.
manner.
Or...
The routine of one day carries over into the next. Before Jean leaves, she has a clear picture of what she is going to do tomorrow.
So after I cut his brake lines, I'm going to
Alert,
walk off the World Trade Center
personable,
tower.
Efficient. Our secretary leaves at the end of the day with a sense of accomplishment and of pride in her contribution to the world of business.
Now she needs a
In
country
which she
accent,
plays
huge
such
boob,
an
and a double platinum
important
single.
part.
Remember, gents, the secretary is not a sex object. This keeps happening. Do not fuck your secretary because your wife don't put out.
Who cares? I'm finished. I'm a murderer. No, you're not. I'm a murderess.